Shalom, welcome to Eretz Israel. I'm R Avraham Shira with our little Erev Shabbat talk. This week we've been covering ground in Patreon on Torah 25 of the first section of Likutei Moharan, and it's dealing with, amongst other things, a very important teaching that every single person needs if they want to get close to God. If you're Jewish, you don't have a choice. If you're non-Jewish, well, you have a little more choice, but the truth here is laid out very clear to us, that the path of God is a staircase, and every step is a step closer, and every person has their own level, and two people can never occupy the same level. Understand that. Wherever you are right now, that's your level. And if you go up closer to Hashem, you pull somebody with you. And if you fall, God forbid, then you pull people down with you. And not only that, if you rise up, you push the people above you higher. And he explains this in the terms of the Eitz Chaim of the Arizal, the great Kabbalist from the 15th century, who explains it in terms of the terminology that not everybody is familiar with, the terminology of the Kabbalah. But this whole Ma'arechet, which in Hebrew means the system, is that each of us has an outer soul and an inner soul. Right? Your outer soul is the one you operate in most of the time. It's your regular, everyday thinking and speaking and acting. And then we have this inner soul, this higher holy soul, that interacts with us to try to help us do the right thing. And that inner soul, we want to access that through our learning, through our meditation and prayer. And when we go to a new higher level, and we push the fellow above us or the woman above us on the pyramid of souls, we take on the higher level of the inner soul of ourselves, but we take on with it the external level of negativity related to the higher soul. So another way of saying it, as we go up the staircase, we're constantly attracting new powers that are, well, they're standing against us. New powers, we call them klipot. They're forces of obstacles that appear psychically, physically, emotionally, each person at their own level. And they also appear as desires for things that are not good for us. So as you go up each level, you're going to get a new neshama, a new spark of godliness, a new insight to the oneness of the creation. And with that new insight of the oneness of creation, there's going to be a new obstacle to try to knock you off. And you say, well, what do I need this for? Well, that's the price. You want to get close to the infinite. It's not for free. It's hard work. But I've tried all the other hard works and they don't work. They don't give me the joy and the power and the desire that this path gives. So it's highly recommended if you want the real deal. Now, if you're willing to take second best, okay, that's your business. Okay, so understand though, as you go up the staircase to Hashem, you receive new inner soul and new external obstacles. And we're pulling people with us up and down all the time. So it's very important. We are really integrated together. All human beings, especially the Jewish people, because they were designed to live and to teach this system of understanding, how the Kabbalah explains to us the interactions of souls as we rise up closer and closer to the complete awareness of God. Okay, so why did I call this class the two greatest mistakes that people make in spirituality? These two great mistakes are not a joke, first of all. And I'm sure any of you that has tried to come closer to Hashem one step, you've experienced it. What are they? He explains here. The first mistake that we make is that when I go up to a new level of holiness, I shouldn't have any obstacles. And all of a sudden, I get new obstacles. And I think, oh no, I've fallen. I went out into the middle of the night, and I jumped in a cold spring, and I said Tikkun Hatzot, and I cried for the Beit HaMikdash, and I did all the work that the Kabbalists tell me to do, and I felt renewal, and I felt strong, and I felt new, and I felt young, and I felt all these great things. And the next thing you know, you get a desire for something you haven't thought about in 20 years. Something that's not good for you. And you think, oh no, I've fallen. I've fallen. No, the Rebbe says here, Rabbi Nachman says clearly, and Rabbi Natan's redacting his words, you haven't fallen. You've simply hit a new level of obstacles. A new level of holiness brings with it its new level of obstacles. So all you've done is hit the wall of a new level. The new opposition to your growth, which is the very thing that makes us grow, is that opposition. So that first mistake is to think I've fallen when you haven't. If you're doing the work and you're sincere and if you're learning or praying or doing good deeds, however you define in your service, because remember, you're the only one at your level ever. And however you define that service, if you find an obstacle after doing your good work, well, you know what? That obstacle is only because you've grown and you've lifted yourself up to a new level. And you've taken someone else's place on this fantastic integrated pyramid of the souls of humanity. They were all once completely unified in what we call Adam Rishon, the first man. He was the collective of all souls. And now we've worked our ways out through his divine structure into this world. Okay, the second mistake. Well, the second mistake is a little scarier. I hate to tell you. The second mistake that a lot of people make in their spiritual growth is when they think that they're close and they think that they've done the work and they haven't. And they don't have obstacles. They're sitting good. They're sitting on the couch with God. You know, everything is fine. And this we see very clearly. People will do some work and then they'll say, okay, I'm religious. I believe in God. I believe in Moses. I get my comfort zone set up and think I'm here. I'm arrived. I've read my book. I've learned about these ideas in Kabbalah that you can learn in any language in the world nowadays. You can hear 1,000 different Kabbalah teachers online. And you can feel good. And you feel good. But in my feeling good, I think I've arrived. I think I'm there. I think I'm something I'm not, is what it comes down to. You know, they said to me once, you know, if you're coasting on your bicycle, it means you're going downhill. The only time you're going up the hill, up the mountain of God, is when you're pedaling hard and you're doing the work. But if I'm coasting, that's not a sign that I'm getting close. That means I've turned the bike around. So these two mistakes, we have to understand, they're all happening right here in our mind, in our own self-perception of our level. And what we have to do, you know how you fix all that? You stop thinking about your level. Forget about it. It's not important. You know, if you're an Olympic swimmer, you let the judges judge. You need to swim. And so too in every sport where they're judging you. But we like to judge ourselves. Oh, I'm close to God now. I'm sababa. I'm good. I'm comfortable. I don't do those sins anymore. That's really great. But I shouldn't think that that's the end of the road, because it's a very, very long road to reach the infinite being that gives us life every moment and every second. Okay? So we want to keep ourselves true and straight. And we want to know that if I'm faced with new obstacles, that's not a sign I fell. And if I think I have no obstacles, then that is a sign I'm falling. Okay? So these two things, if we can put them into your little toolbox of metaphysical understandings, you're going to do fine. Because you're going to see the new obstacle and you're going to say, I'm not worried, I'm falling, I'll take that on too. Let me have a cup of coffee and we'll start again to serve God. And on the other hand, if I find myself sitting really comfortable and I feel really great with things, then I got to say, whoa, wait a minute, this is just a little too easy. Because easy is not really the sign of anything from the holiness, right? Holiness demands work. Holiness demands dedication, perseverance, persistence. But so does the rest of the world. So let's put it to the right places. You know, people will give their lives to do certain things, and in the name of excitement or in the name of adventure, they'll risk their life to climb a mountain or to swim across the ocean. Well, let's swim across the ocean of the awareness of God, the knowledge of his presence in our life, and in everyone else's life around us. We got to have faith in other people's connection too, folks, because we're working this together. And this little message here can really pick you up and get you going and keep you from those devastating falls where I think that it's all over. Okay, I'm done. I'm finished with God. I had enough of this religious stuff. I want to go home. There is no home. This is the home. So God bless you all. Don't give up. Keep fighting, because the reward is there every moment. We don't have to worry about this promise of the world to come and my future condominium in the sky. No, I don't serve God for those things. I serve God because of the joy he gives me in the doing. Okay? It's in the doing of the learning and the praying and the meditating and helping out other people. In that doing, you find your immediate connection to the infinite. God bless you all. Shabbat Shalom. We'll see you on all the platforms next week. God, and have a great Shabbat.